I need my money.
You want to work here, get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome to it. It is the Nation of Jake on The Voice.
Yes, have some.
FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. The Listen Live link is in the top right corner. We're also streaming live on the YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube to the Nation of Jake channel. Also, catch up with me on Facebook and the Twitter at Nation of Jake for both platforms on this Monday, June 17th, year of our Lord, 2019. Partly cloudy, 84 degrees. That's your high for today. Supposed to be some rain later, but I've been saying that for a week, and I'm starting to think that the Apple weather app is not all that accurate. It always shifts. Seriously, last week, if you looked at the upcoming week starting Sunday all the way to Sunday, it was nothing but thunderstorms. That's it. Maybe the way that they notate that there's a chance of thunderstorms is by putting the Snoopy cloud with the lightning bolt there, but I thought that it was just going to be rain all week long. That said, this afternoon, we're supposed to see some precip, and then throughout the week, maybe a little break, and then back on the weekend. Who knows? Just, if you need a weather report, just open your window. Do it that way. Or talk to a Van Horn or a Sullipeck or a Demers. We're not here for the weather. We are here for the news. That's right, Iran is causing trouble over in the Middle East. Could military response be on the table? Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says, of course it's on the table. We'll consider a full range of options. We'll talk about exactly what Iran is doing and then what could happen as a result. New 2020 polls are out. I think they come out like every Monday. All right, and we're in advance. I believe next week will be the first debates of the 2020 election season. Something like 20 candidates on 2 different nights, 2 different divisions. But one of the things that's going on in the polls right now is that Bernie Sanders is losing ground. All right, the polls have been very unkind to Bernard Sanders in the past few weeks. I wonder why. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. O.J. Simpson has decided to take a stab at Twitter. As if there weren't enough horrible people on this platform of Twitter, an unrepentant murderer has now joined up, saying some pretty eye-opening things. And here's the deal about it. Not even the most outrageous thing that happened on Twitter this weekend was O.J. Simpson joining up with a Twitter video. That's right. We'll get into the Twitter hijinks that ensued. And also, my favorite story of the day, maybe even of the week. The week is still young. But we have the heartwarming tale of a machete-wielding 11-year-old boy. We've also got the news cruise coming up. So plenty to get to on a Monday in the Nation of Jake. There was a lot more Brandon Weber coverage over the weekend. Of course, last Wednesday night in Fraser, there was an incident at a home in the neighborhood of Fraser. A young man named Brandon Weber, who was wanted on federal warrants for a crime committed in Hernando. He carjacked a guy and shot him 5 times, left him for dead, and then he fled back up to Memphis, where he was confronted by U.S. Marshals there in Fraser. According to reports from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, he rammed his stolen Infiniti G35 into the U.S. Marshals, exited the vehicle with an AR pistol, and then was shot, some people are saying 16 to 20 times by U.S. Marshals. A riot ensued. It was a bit of a dust-up between some citizens in Fraser and the Memphis Police Department, and then that has been in the news ever since. The coverage over the weekend, you saw headlines like, turmoil in Memphis. Turmoil in Memphis. You also had Brandon Weber's crying mother on the Daily Memphian website, on the Commercial Appeal, on the local TV stations. And I've always wondered, if I were to lose a son or daughter if I would even bother talking to the local media, let's number one, let's just say you are trying to process and grieve the loss of your son or daughter, no matter how it happens. Probably at the bottom of the list is talk to News Channel 5 about this, because I couldn't imagine how much there is to process and grieve, and that it's going to take more than about 48 hours. All right, so the Commercial Appeal, the Daily Memphian, I'm sure all the news stations attended a vigil there in Fraser. And let's just set one thing straight. I am not critical of anybody in any neighborhood, especially the family and friends of Brandon Weber holding a vigil. I mean, again, it's very sad, this whole situation. His poor mother has to process and grieve over the loss of her son. She also has to process the kind of stuff that her son was accused of doing. So I'm not so sure that I would feel comfortable being a part of the media. I don't consider myself media, but I know, like, as a radio guy, I would not be sending producers or myself down there to get sound bites from a grieving mother. And I have to question the motives behind any news organization going and sticking cameras in the faces of people who are traumatized and grieving, because they do it to get web clicks. They do it because, oh, this is the hot story. I don't think it's fair. And I don't think it's a good idea. I think people get taken advantage of. Now, that said, it gets over the top. But again, people, I mean, you have to. I mean, if your son, 20 years old, gets caught up in some bad stuff, and there's a lot of people out there saying on the Twitter and out there on the streets, oh, it was mistaken identity. Brandon didn't do that. Brandon was a good kid. I'm just not so sure that all holds up. That said, there were vigils and remembrances for Brandon Weber. A guy, Yo Gotti, the Memphis rapper, he went on Twitter to say that this has got to stop happening, and I would agree with Yo Gotti, but there was no context given to the kinds of things that Brandon Weber was accused of, and then the incident released by the TBI, their investigation, says that he rammed vehicles of the U.S. Marshals and then was wielding a gun. So I just think there's still a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of distrust of the media and of law enforcement, and this doesn't make it better, the way it's been covered. Just to put it in perspective, Brandon Weber, who was accused of committing a heinous crime down in Hernando, and then also attacking U.S. Marshals, there was more coverage of the vigils for Brandon Marshall, and there will be more coverage of his funeral than there was the memorial service for Forrest Goodman, who hosted Tiger pre- and post-game shows and has been on the radio and part of this community for 20 years. I did not see one reporter at Forrest Goodman's funeral service. And I don't mean to make it about that, but just as a comparison. A guy who for 20 years has been a part of the Tiger broadcast, which is very important to this city, and what he's done for Memphis, versus a situation where a 20-year-old suspect rams into U.S. Marshals and then wields a weapon and then is killed. So I just don't know what the media is trying to accomplish with all this. People from the Commercial Appeal are criticizing Mayor Strickland, saying, oh, he should be expressing more sympathy for the family of Brandon Weber than he is concerned for police officers who were injured while just trying to maintain order on a dangerous scene. When the fact of the matter is, Mayor Strickland,
Mr. Strickland,
he went on TV at 10:30 a.m. It was posted on Channel 5's website, an interview with the mayor in which the first thing out of his mouth is that he regrets the loss of life and his thoughts go out to the family. All but because he didn't do it enough. That paints Mayor Strickland as a guy who he doesn't care about the people of Fraser. That's bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers and irresponsible reporting. That's what that is. I don't know. Just click. I found it. How can you not? So now the fallout now is we've got Law enforcement on high alert. Mississippi authorities say a credible threat of violence against all law enforcement officers in the state has been made by the Gangster Disciples, a gang with branches in Memphis and parts of Mississippi, following the shooting death of Brandon Weber by members of the U.S. Marshal Service. In a press conference Friday, Captain Johnny Paulos with the Mississippi Department of Public Safety confirmed the threat against agencies after a bulletin was released by the department Thursday. It's according to the Clarion Ledger. The bulletin advised law enforcement officials to use extra caution and be on high alert while in public. All right, and then there's other rumors. There were rumors that this hit put out by the Gangster Disciples was actually from Brandon Weber's father. All right, I don't know that that's true. One of our fine local news outlets caught up with Brandon Weber's father, Sonny Weber. He says he doesn't know anything about that. He had nothing to do with it. He says, I don't know nothing about that call for retaliation. All right, got to take him at his word. Because right now, there's so many rumors and so much misinformation. Sonny Weber does say that he doesn't know anything about this red Infiniti that was allegedly stolen by Brandon Weber. He says, I don't know anything about a car. He says, there go a car. It ain't stolen. He got an Audi. It ain't stolen. He got a Kia. It ain't stolen. He's got 3 cars. He says, they rammed my son. This is my son's car. He says, drove up on it like it was a Tonka toy. So there are some disputes as to what happened. Now, I'm sure that when the full investigation comes out, I mean, you've got state investigators, the TBI, the FBI will get involved here. As I'm told, the FBI, they investigate every shooting by federal law enforcement. I'm sure that we will see things in an official report, like photos of the red Infiniti in question that was allegedly stolen by Brandon Weber in early June from a gentleman in Hernando who is yet to be named for fear of retaliation against him. If it comes out who he is, he's the one who fingered Brandon Weber for this crime. So we're not going to know who he is. That said, if we got photos of a bashed up red Infiniti or just having the stolen vehicle there. So all this stuff's going to come out. But we have to kind of go on, what's official in these reports. But people are going to believe what they want to believe. Now, with regards to MPD, I brought up last week, I didn't see a lot of information about people being arrested during the riots that ensued after the shooting of Brandon Weber. Well, Memphis police have started their own investigations. They arrested 3 people the night of. But there were many more than 3 people out there destroying property or hurling rocks at MPD. And now Memphis police is investigating those violent acts. From Police Director Rawlings, to think that officers were being assaulted. There was a Shelby County Sheriff's officer being assaulted with bricks and rocks, but showed enormous restraint. And he's right. Think about it. All the images we have from last Wednesday, all of them are people rioting, people expressing their anger and frustration, bashing up cop cars, throwing rocks. There was tear gas as a crowd dispersant, but we don't have any video or photos of Memphis cops beating people up. They had the riot gear out, which a lot of people will say, well, that will incite a riot. You bring out riot gear. Well, they had to protect themselves. People were throwing bricks and rocks. That's all they had. But they didn't whip out any clubs. Nobody got tasered. Nobody got hogtied. Nobody got manhandled. They showed enormous restraint, and Director Rawlings is correct. And Mayor Strickland is correct for this to be his main concern, because with regards to MPD's place out there within their purview, they did not commit the shooting. They were not executing the warrant on Brandon Weber. Was MPD. It just did. That's not reality. So now they're looking for more people who are bashing up cop cars and throwing rocks at police, acts of felony vandalism that took place, acts of felony aggravated assault. So they're investigating those. Now, so far, Memphis police arrested Joshua Taylor, Eddie Richardson, and Kelston Beverly. 2 of those men have already appeared in court. A judge dismissed Beverly's disorderly conduct case because in the city of Memphis, in Shelby County, disorderly conduct is not even worth prosecuting. If you do something like that, they look at their stack and they go, "Oh man, look, we just got to get him out of here." So we will see what happens. They say 36 law enforcement officers sent to the hospital and 20 vehicles or more damaged from the riot. But now it's going to be all about this problems in Fraser. They came long before the Brandon Weber incident. And you're going to read all about the income inequality, and you're going to read all about all the problems up there in Fraser that have virtually nothing to do with Brandon Weber going down to Hernando, shooting a guy 5 times, stealing his car, bringing it back up to Memphis, where he gets into a little bit of a chase. And he was doing a Facebook Live video saying cops are going to have to catch me if you can kind of thing. And then ramming his vehicle into U.S. Marshals and then exiting with a gun. None of that has to do with anything that's been going on in Fraser for the past 30 or so years. But that's how it's going to be. That's going to be the coverage you're going to see from now on. There will be a memorial service or a funeral, and that will be covered at length in the paradigm of this narrative. Just another story to stitch in there and weave this giant quilt. And that's what I have on it today. All right, we've got plenty more to get to. We've got OJ joining Twitter, which is mind-boggling. We'll take a listen to the video he put up there on Twitter. But coming up real quickly, we're going to go over what's going on with Iran, and could a military response be in the cards from the president? We'll find out next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
KWAM, The Voice salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and healthcare is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Momentum Community Care Services, 875 West Poplar Avenue, Suite 23 in Collierville. Appella, specialized foster care and in-home personal care. To learn more, visit appella.org.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Appella is a nonprofit organization that is committed to the promotion of independence among their clients. Many seniors are not ready or do not need to move to an assisted living facility, but they need some help to continue living in their own homes. Appella's team of care specialists provide assistance with daily tasks that become difficult as our bodies age. Appella is locally operated and serves the North Mississippi area. Call them today at 662-429-3652 or visit appella.org.
Do you like choices? Do you like being part of the design? How about being involved in picking the type of wood, stain, and customizing the size of your furniture too? Well, you can do all that and more at Amish Excellence. They have the highest value in furniture that is reasonably priced and handcrafted by the Amish. Imagine dining room tables, chairs, bar stools, hutches, chests, end tables, and more. Amish Excellence's showroom is located at 3601 South Houston Levee Road, Suite 106.
Lightwave Solar is the trusted source for solar energy systems in the Mid-South. Lightwave Solar is hosting a commercial solar workshop at the South Haven Chamber of Commerce on Friday, June 28th at 10 a.m. Mississippi business owners are encouraged to attend to learn more about the costs and benefits of solar energy for their buildings. See how solar works with a tour of the solar equipment installed at the South Haven Chamber. Register at lightwavesolar.com.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
For baby boomers, here's something to think about. Will you have enough income during your retirement? Are you absolutely sure? Do you understand the difference between growth and income? How about bonds and bond funds? Are you 100% ready for RMDs? Do you have an estate plan? If you've said no to any of these, we can help. Right now, log on to theretirementincomeDoctor.com and tune in our brand new radio show right here, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
Since 1927, Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab has been invested in the health and happiness of each individual who enters their doors. They serve people and families of all faiths with compassion, dignity, and commitment. Named one of U.S. News & World Report's best nursing homes for 2017-2018. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab was also named the #1 nursing home in the Mid-South by the Memphis Business Journal in 2019. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab is located in a 77-acre park-like setting in Cordova. You can find out more on their website at memphisjewishhome.org.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel, very easy to find. Nation of Jake, one word, run it all together, Nation of Jake. Same on Facebook, same on Twitter. All right, so one of the top headlines in the national news is about Iran. I believe 10 days. They've got 10 days before they will exceed uranium and heavy water limits that were imposed by that Iran nuclear deal. Nuclear, such a word. You can't even say it. The nuclear deal by Iran with the United States and Europe. I believe that the United States already said, no, we're not going to abide by the deal. The deal's a bad deal. That was one of the first things that Donald Trump said he would do, and that he did was withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. I remember when we made this Iran deal and how all these people were talking about how great a deal it was without having known anything about the deal. People who liked President Obama were talking about how great a deal it was. And I'm walking around saying, hold on, do you know anything about nuclear arms deals? Are you even qualified to speak on the quality of a deal made between the United States and Iran regarding sanctions and uranium? The truth of the matter is you don't know anything about it. There was one guy, a guy I worked with named Eric, and I was asking questions. I was like, does anybody know about this Iran deal? And he says, that's a great deal. President Obama's going to get a Nobel Prize for that deal. And I said, hold on, what do you know about the deal? What do you know about nuclear weapons and developing enriched uranium? What do you know about it? Listen, if this was a deal between the Mets and the Cardinals, and you said it was a great deal, I might listen. But because this is a deal between the United States and Iran regarding sanctions about uranium, I don't believe you. So you've got to do a lot of reading. It's about sanctions. They can have so much uranium. They can develop so much nuclear energy for nuclear power, but not for weapons. The whole deal was in Iran's favor, as I did my research. It gave them tons and tons of money. Also, it's all about how you view Iran. Do you view Iran or Iran, as I grew up saying it, Iran a state sponsor of terror, then there's no good deal with them. If they are a sponsor of terror, if the regime over there, the Ayatollah, the president, it was Ahmadinejad for a while, it was Ayatollah Khomeini for forever. If those guys sponsor terrorism against the U.S. or any other nation state, then no deal is a good deal with Iran. That said, things have been heating up over there. It's been quiet for a while. All the heat has been over with North Korea, but now we've got Iran acting up. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Sunday that the U.S. is considering a full range of options, including a military response to combat Iranian aggression. Pompeo says on CBS's Face the Nation, "We've briefed the president a couple of times. We'll continue to keep him updated. We are confident that we can take a set of actions that can restore deterrence, which is our mission set." That's a bag of words, isn't it? Restore deterrence, which is our mission set. Asked if military options were on the table, Pompeo responded, "Of course. This is America. That's what we do." Not that I'm a war hawk at all, but Pompeo and Bolton and those guys, they will exercise military options if need be. The president will consider everything we need to do to make sure, right? But what has the president said? We don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. The comments come amid heightened tension between the Middle East, where on Thursday, 2 tankers were attacked off the coast of Oman in the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's crude oil passes through. The United States has blamed Iran for the attack, releasing video purporting to show Iran Navy personnel removing an undetonated mine from the hull of one of the ships. Iran has denied the allegations. Of course they've denied the allegations. They are not going to say, "Oh yeah, we did it," because that would be an act of war, and then we would have to rain down fire on Iran. Tensions between the two countries began to escalate April 25th when the Trump administration canceled waivers that allowed countries to buy Iranian oil without violating sanctions. In response, Iran partially withdrew from a landmark 6-nation nuclear deal. And that's the whole thing. Hey, this deal is going to expire, and then we're going to have extra uranium. We're going to go over our limit of uranium. So you better get on board here, because if you guys are violating the deal, then we're going to have to violate our deal, and then there will be anarchy. At least that's what they want you to think. I mean, that's where they're coming from as far as leverage goes. Really what it comes down to is we've sanctioned the hell out of them, and any country wants to buy oil from Iran can't do it without violating those sanctions. And so Iran has all this oil that they're trying to sell, but they can't sell it to anybody. Meanwhile, we're producing a whole lot of oil, more than we ever have, and gas prices are down. So Iran is trying to drive up the price of oil and also the push down the supply, attack tankers, put it in peril to where they're going to have to relax the sanctions and then buy Iran's oil. That's kind of where it is. That's why free markets rule, man. All this stuff, all the sanctions and everything, I know it's how we punish countries who don't act like we want them to, but then they start trying to manipulate all the oil supplies and whatnot. We get into some ugly stuff. Pompeo has repeatedly said Donald Trump does not want war with Iran, but they are committed to keeping those waterways open. That is, the channels by which oil moves through. Now, with regards to all the stuff that's coming out today about the nuclear deal and the stockpiles of low-grade uranium, they're ramping it up, the enrichment of the low-grade uranium, and will pass the limit it is allowed to stockpile under the deal within 10 days. All right, this is according to a spokesman for the Iranian Atomic Agency. During a news conference, Behrouz Kamalvandi said if Iran feels the sanctions have been reinstated or not lifted, Iran has the right to partly or on the whole suspend its commitments, referring to sanctions that were lifted as part of the nuclear deal but have since been reinstated by Trump. However, he said there was still time for European countries to save the nuclear deal if they abide by their commitments, saying, hey, trade with us, buy our oil, or we're going to ramp up the nukes. And this is going to create some problems. After exceeding the limit, Iran will accelerate uranium enrichment to 3.7%. What does that mean? Well, that means it's a touch above the 3.67% mandated by the nuclear deal. That would be enough to continue powering parts of Iran's energy needs, but not enough to ever build a nuclear bomb. So, Iran It doesn't seem like it's imminent for them to have enough of this uranium to build a bomb. But at the same time, when you're dealing with Iran, can you believe anything they say? I mean, what was the whole thing with the nuclear deal? The problem was President Obama cut this deal because he just wanted to get a deal done, all right? And he's like, hey, you guys, we'll give you a bunch of money. We'll unfreeze all these billions of assets. And then we will also take you at your word as to your uranium stockpiles. That's right. We would send in some inspectors, but you won't let us, and it's okay. The deal just seemed very much in Iran's favor and didn't have the teeth, didn't have the oversight that I think people wanted when dealing with a bad actor like Iran. And they chant death to America. But they've, Russia's got their back. I mean, it's just very messy over there. It always is diplomacy in the Middle East. I hope that did something for you. All right, because again, it's very complicated when you're talking about all these deals, enriched uranium. How much is too much? Will they let the inspectors over there? It's a mess. I hope we don't go to war with Iran. I hope that we largely get into fewer kinetic military actions, not more. That's the bottom line from the Nation of Jake. In a little bit, who is this madman eating mayonnaise at a baseball game at AutoZone Park? Yeah, the Redbirds, in a game over the weekend, on the big screen showed a man who was eating out of a giant tub of mayonnaise with a wooden spoon. Who was that guy? And also, O.J. Simpson takes a stab at Twitter. We'll tell you what he had to say on the old Twitter. Coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News update. Iran says it's about to bust the limit on uranium enrichment it agreed to in that nuclear deal engineered by President Obama in 2015, an agreement the Trump administration does not recognize. Rebecca Johnson heads the London-based Acronym Institute for Disarmament Diplomacy.
When they surpass the 300 kilogram limit set by the JCPOA, they would also consider themselves free of restraint on the level of enrichment, so that they would also go above this 3.67%.
It's a move that will further aggravate relations with the Trump administration, which blames Iran for those recent tanker bombings. CBS's David Martin.
Even if they come out and say this bomb, this hole, this damage was obviously caused by a magnetic mine attached to the side of the ship, that still doesn't say who put it there.
CBS News update. I'm Jim Shenevey.
Brown Properties. They specialize in commercial and industrial real estate in all of North Mississippi.
He helped me locate a space and helped me get in so easily. The most professional, most accommodating person that I have ever worked with in my professional career.
I would absolutely recommend Jim Brown very highly. As a matter of fact, he'll be my real estate agent from now into the future for sure.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown with Brown Properties, commercial industrial real estate located in South Haven, Mississippi. Call me at 662-393-2255.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on the YouTube channel, Easy Nation of Jake, also on Twitter and on Facebook. All right, so over the weekend, I guess Saturday night, everybody just kind of freaked out a little bit. If you were on social media, you might have been just checking the Twitter, between whatever the hell you were doing. I don't know what people do on Saturday nights anymore. Usually I'm hanging out with my kids. See, I don't worry about how many Twitter followers I have because I've got 2 followers. They're my kids, and they follow me everywhere, mostly because it's illegal for me to leave them alone. So I've got all these followers on Twitter who are freaking out about the newest addition to the platform, and that would be none other than Orenthal James O.J. Simpson, who you know from great NFL running back, all those fantastic Naked Gun movies in which he played Nordberg. You may remember him as the man who inadvertently introduced the world to the Kardashians through his lawyer when he was on trial for murdering 2 people. Of course, O.J. Simpson. Can you imagine if Twitter was around in 1994? Can you imagine the O.J. trial unfolding on Twitter? It was amazing in 94 when there was no Twitter. Imagine all of the headlines and all of the inside information that came out later all unfolding on Twitter. Imagine the white Bronco chase that I watched with my grandfather that summer, sitting around in his kitchen when he and AC were in the white Bronco being followed not by Twitter followers, by LAPD, being chased down on the expressway, the freeway as they call it out there. Imagine that all unfolding on Twitter as well as all the network channels. Unbelievable. Well, O.J. Simpson has joined Twitter, and he introduced himself to the Twitter world with a video. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. Now, there's a lot of fake OJ accounts out there, so this one, at the real OJ32, is the only official one. So this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So God bless. Take care.
Wait, what was that? What was that? Got a little getting even to do? Get even with whom? With whom, OJ? With whom are you going to get even? With whom are you at odds? That's what I want to know. O.J. Simpson, unrepentant murderer, on Twitter. In a very cheerful video. He seems very happy these days. It's only fair to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was found not guilty of murder. He got in some other trouble, busted in with guns to go repo some memorabilia that he felt was taken from him, which was not a good thing to do, but he did his time. Maybe the real killer is on Twitter. Everybody else is. Maybe OJ just joined Twitter in order to find the real killer. Maybe bait somebody into confessing on Twitter, and then boom, OJ exonerated in the court of public opinion. Maybe there's that. Also, people are getting real upset that OJ has over 500,000 Twitter followers in just 48 hours. 500,000, 600,000. Let me check his profile. 659,000 followers in just over 2 days since Saturday night, I believe. Maybe it was Friday night, Saturday night. When did he? Oh, there's more videos now. Oh my goodness. What is? What does he have to say here in this video? I've not yet seen these. Here we go. OJ, what you got?
Hey, Twitter world. You know, for years, people have been able to say whatever they want to say about me with no accountability. But now I get to challenge a lot of that BS and set the record straight. More importantly, I'll be able to talk about everything, especially sports, fantasy football, and even politics. But for now, let me just say to my fellow fathers out there, Happy Father's Day.
Oh my goodness, this is stuff of nightmares, isn't it? No, a lot of people have been saying a lot of stuff about me without being held accountable. This guy is probably a murderer. And he's out there straight up what if he challenges Justin Bieber to a fight? Can you imagine that? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So he's grateful for all of his followers, but a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are upset that 659,000 plus people have decided to follow OJ on Twitter. Don't be upset when people follow OJ, all right? You need to be upset if OJ follows you. Especially, he's coming for Twitter revenge. Oh man, can we get a protective detail? Let's get a protective detail on Norm Macdonald ASAP. You must, because there's not been one guy who's been more relentless with regards to O.J. Simpson in the O.J. Simpson trial and the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman than Norm Macdonald. I think that's why Norm Macdonald got fired from SNL, because he wouldn't let up on the O.J. stuff. So let's make sure that Norm Macdonald is accounted for at all times while O.J. is on the Twitter. Here's the thing about it. With O.J. on Twitter, it's not even the most absurd thing, in my opinion, that happened on Twitter over the weekend. Over Father's Day weekend, a tweet was sent out from the account of Bill Cosby. Yeah, Bill Cosby stays active on social media, even though he is serving a prison sentence for sexual assault. On Sunday, he posted a Father's Day message on Twitter that social media users said fell flat. Here is the tweet from Bill Cosby. Hey, 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 it's America's dad. I know it's late, but all a dad, it's an honor to be called a father, so let's make today a renewed oath to fulfilling a purpose, strengthening our communities and our families. Hashtag Happy Father's Day, hashtag renewed oath to our family, and Mortimer J. Marker. That's from Bill Cosby. Cosby, 81, requested the message be posted for Father's Day. It's according to his spokesperson, Andrew Wyatt. Wyatt said Cosby's message consisted of telling these men who have been incarcerated for many years but are up for parole soon to take the word disadvantage and remove dis and start focusing on advantage. That's not what it said at all. He claimed to be America's dad. And that just goes to show, with regards to some of the things we've been talking about over the past few days. When you are America's dad, Bill Cosby, when you are NFL running back, Hertz spokesman, or Nordberg from The Naked Gun as O.J. Simpson was, when you are those things, you erase everything you've done by being convicted sexual assaulter or accused murderer. You forfeit those things. You are rebranded. All right, just like in the case of Brandon Weber, who I'm still being told was such a great kid and such a great student. When you go and you steal somebody's car and shoot them 5 times and leave them for dead, you're rebranded. That's just how it works. So these guys getting on Twitter, what a world we are in year of our Lord 2019. Another guy who got some Twitter attention, deservingly so, is this sociopath eating mayonnaise out of a giant tub at the Redbirds game. Who is this guy? We're going to find out next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our Mid-South seniors and a life well lived. Tune in to the Earl Farrell for Memphis show every Monday at 4 p.m. as we hear the inspiring stories from local seniors. We'll hear from Jake Shore, who at 78 still goes to work every day and heads up an annual Thanksgiving and Christmas Feed the Needy. We'll talk with Glenda Mace, who just turned 80 and leads a weekly yoga class for seniors, plus is a founder of Cloud9 Theater Company. And we'll talk with Leo Raymer, who is an active 91-year-old that when he was 66 sailed around the world by himself. Inspiring stories from the Mid-South seniors, Mondays at 4 all month long right here on The Voice, KWAM.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs, those little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
That's the number that could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. Call today and Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning will hook you up with an AC tune-up. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
At Amish Excellence, they specialize in custom-crafted solid hardwood furniture. Their furniture is made in the USA by Amish craftsmen with deeply held beliefs in integrity of workmanship and concern for lasting beauty, built to last for generations. They'll love working with you in choosing the perfect design to create your unique furniture. Amish Excellence, 3601 South Houston Levee Road. Exquisite furniture, reasonably priced, remarkably superb, and uniquely yours.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice FM 107.9 AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the channel Nation of Jake, as well as Facebook and the Twitter. Hell of a weekend on Twitter. Not only do we have O.J. Simpson joining up, you have Bill Cosby offering advice as America's dad. Even still, you also had a video go viral from the Memphis Redbirds game. Redbirds played Saturday against the Las Vegas Aviators at AutoZone Park, and on the big screen was a man in a tank top. He was clad in some sort of cargo shorts, and he also, in his arms, held a giant tub of mayonnaise. a giant tub of mayonnaise. This was like mayonnaise you would see in the kitchen of a restaurant. This was the economy size. This wasn't if you were just grilling burgers outside. This was like if you had your own burger franchise. You want to open a Whataburger? I'm pretty sure you can. This is the kind of mayonnaise tub that they would have. All right, massive tub of mayonnaise. This guy had a giant spoon, and he was eating the mayonnaise right out of the jar, right out of the tub. So I saw this video, and I said to myself, what the hellmans is going on here? Why would this guy bring a giant tub of mayonnaise to a baseball game and proceed to eat it? How did he get into the park with a giant tub of mayonnaise? How do you sneak that large a vessel of mayonnaise into AutoZone Park? All right, so he started eating the mayonnaise early in the game, and then by the fourth inning, he moved to a different seat. He continued eating with a spoon out of the giant jar of mayonnaise before security had him move to another seat. I guess he was grossing people out. That didn't stop the mayo eater as he found a new place and continued eating it in the fifth inning. So he kept on going around. Redbird's Twitter kept a running commentary as they were shocked and confused, as everybody else was. Who would do that? Do you know what mayonnaise is made of, by the way? When I was a kid, I just figured, oh, that's just like some superfluous condiment they put on my burgers. I didn't mind it. I didn't seek it out. Then I saw one day an infomercial for one of those hand mixers, and they said, oh, you can make your own mayonnaise. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm in 6th grade. There's nothing in the fridge. I'm just going to go ahead and watch this infomercial. And so I'm watching this infomercial about this hand mixer, and they make mayonnaise by just putting a bunch of oil and eggs into a jar and then mixing it and blending it. And I was like, that's mayonnaise? Oh! I've never eaten mayonnaise since that day, since I found out what was in it. So this guy is just spooning mayonnaise into his mouth at a ball game. It's hot outside and it's sunny. This can't be for real. And I don't think it is. I think this is a stunt. I think this is one of those minor league ballpark stunts. And get yourself viral on the Twitter. You know, remind people that the Redbirds are playing. AutoZone Park's not just for soccer anymore. That kind of thing. So much so, I'm willing to wield my own mayonnaise challenge. If the gentleman eating the mayonnaise at the Redbirds game can prove to me that he eats mayonnaise with a spoon straight out of the jar, I myself will eat mayonnaise with a spoon right out of the jar. That's how convinced I am that this was some sort of stunt. There's so many different mayonnaise analogs out there. The easy one would be like tapioca pudding or vanilla pudding out of a snack pack. Consistency is going to be different, but come on, he was just on a camera, on a big screen. So I'm thinking he had some sort of pudding or yogurt in that big vat of mayonnaise he was carrying around. But yeah, I can't think of many more things that would make me gag. So if this guy, well, I don't know him. I don't know who he is. If he's listening, maybe G-Man can help find him. G-Man was working the PA that night. G-Man was, I'm sure, clued into Mayonnaise Man, the mystery Mayonnaise Man. We'll find him. We'll find out who he is. If he can prove that was mayonnaise in the jar, I myself will eat a jar of mayonnaise. Not one that big. I gotta keep my girlish figure, right? I can't be eating that many eggs and oil at one time. All right, coming up, new polls out with regards to the 2020 Democrat debate and election coming up.
KWAM, your news and information station with CBS News updates every hour on the hour. KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Sheneby. The Supreme Court has handed Virginia Republicans a defeat in a gerrymandering case. Steve Dorsey reports.
In a 5-4 decision, the court let stand a ruling from a federal panel that invalidated an effort by Virginia Republicans to redraw state electoral districts because they violated the constitutional rights of black voters. However, the Supreme Court didn't decisively weigh in on the merits of the case. Instead, the court said the Republican-led State House of Delegates didn't have the legal authority to appeal the lower court ruling, invalidating the 11 redrawn districts for racial discrimination.
Iran has announced that within 10 days it will exceed uranium enrichment limits set in that 2015 nuclear deal with the Obama administration. State Department spokeswoman Morgan Ortagus.
We continue to call on the Iranian regime not to obtain a nuclear weapon, to abide by their commitments to the international community. And I think, it's unfortunate that they've made this announcement today.
It's a move that will further strain relations with the Trump administration and comes a week after 2 oil tankers were bombed in the Gulf of Oman, attacks the Trump administration blames on Iran. Fashion icon, socialite Gloria Vanderbilt has died. This announcement made by her son this morning, CNN correspondent Anderson Cooper.
She was the strongest person I've ever met, but she wasn't tough. She never developed a thick skin to protect herself from hurt. She wanted to feel it all. She wanted to feel life's pleasures, its pains as well.
She was 95 years old. A shooting today outside a federal courthouse in Dallas, Texas. A 22-year-old man killed in an exchange of fire with federal officers. U.S. Attorney Aaron Neely Cox.
This morning at approximately 8:40, federal building was shot on by an active shooter. Law enforcement responded immediately, and I want to assure the community, especially our downtown community, that the community is safe.
No word on a motive. Computer security experts say they found a way to break into any iPhone or iPad and perform a full file extraction. And the service is for sale. CBS's Larry Magid.
There is a law enforcement market for tools that can crack iPhones and other devices. But these tools could also get into the hands of criminals, so they do pose security risks.
The company is called Celebrite, and the FBI is believed to have used its services in the past. Federal health officials say there were 22 new measles cases last week, a 2.2% increase in what is already the worst outbreak since 1992, with 1,044 cases total. Measles now present in 28 states. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 32 points. This is CBS News.
Would you risk your career or your life to go up against a big company if they were doing something wrong? Meet people who did. Whistleblower on CBS Friday.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. I've got great news. Mortgage interest rates have dropped. So if you're thinking about buying a home, right now is the time to lock that low rate, even before you find the home of your dreams. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Another Hunger Games book is scheduled for publication next year.
The 74th Annual Hunger Games.
Author Suzanne Collins, whose books inspired the hit movie trilogy, is writing a prequel. It's set 64 years before young people began fighting and killing each other on live TV. Collins says she wanted to explore the state of nature, who we are, and what we perceive is required for survival. There's no comment from publisher Scholastic on the specific storyline or the featured characters. The book's due for release next year. Lionsgate hints the movie won't be far behind. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A revolver purported to be the one that Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh used to kill himself is set for auction in Paris Wednesday. Billed as the most famous weapon in the history of art, the gun was found in 1965 in the same field where Van Gogh is believed to have shot himself. The auction house says while there's no way to be absolutely certain it is the fatal weapon, tests showed it had been in the ground for 75 years. Jim Chenevey, CBS News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Call Total Financial now at 800-899-8922. That's 800-899-8922. Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS has special programs in place that can eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to ATA, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call ATA to see if you qualify. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055. 800-805-1055.
DJ, he's from the dog. What, named after the dog?
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the channel Nation of Jake. Also on Facebook and Twitter at Nation of Jake. Catch up with me there. Love to hear from you. In a little bit, I've got this heartwarming tale of a machete-wielding 11-year-old boy. This is one of those stories where the exact thing you want to happen happens. And it involves a machete and an 11-year-old boy. So that's coming up in just a little bit, as well as the news cruise. All the latest headlines, a leisurely look at them in the news cruise. We do it every day at around 2:40 or so here in the Nation of Jake. So over the weekend, locally, there was a lot of coverage of the riots in Fraser that ensued after 20-year-old Brandon Weber was shot and killed by U.S. Marshals when they were serving a felony warrant on him for allegedly going to Hernando, Mississippi, stealing a car and shooting a guy 5 times and leaving him for dead, coming back up to Memphis. And then when he's confronted by U.S. Marshals, he rammed them with their cars and then exited the vehicle wielding an AR pistol. And no, the U.S. Marshals don't just shoot you in the knee. No, the U.S. Marshals don't just throw out a net and catch you. If you wield a pistol and do not comply with their commands, they will neutralize the threat. And in this case, it means shooting you and likely killing you. And that's what happened. Now we've got a lot of reports about vigils held by the family of Brandon Weber, and all the power to him in the world. Anyone who loses a family member should have the right to hold a vigil. It's fine. Hold a vigil, have a funeral service, take the time to process and grieve your loss, but also process the facts. And I've never understood why anybody in that situation, regardless of how that situation comes about, losing a loved one, how in the world talking to the media is anywhere on your list. When you lose somebody, anyone from an elderly grandmother down to a child and their untimely death, there's a long list of things to do when you lose someone. There's a lot to get through. On the bottom of that list should be going on the news and talking to Janice Broach about it. It shouldn't even be there, because your tears and your grief and your anger and disbelief are going to be used on the news to get people to watch it. That's what happens. I've never understood that. Never understood it in my life. I will not talk unless it's an appeal to find, say, the real killers. If somebody is murdered and they're on the run, whoever did it, you go out and make an appeal or a description. But honestly, I would farm that out to somebody. I would get a family spokesman. I'd get somebody in my extended family who could compose themselves. It wouldn't be the mother. It wouldn't be me. If I lost one of my children and the news came a-knocking, asking me, hey, share your feelings, I'd say, get lost. Go away. This time is not for you. But we're getting a lot of that on commercialappeal.com, Daily Memphian, and they're doing their jobs. This has been designated the story. All right, so they are doing their jobs. They're trying to tell the story. And they want to rip at your emotions. And they want to make this a big story. This is a story of a family in a neighborhood. And what we need to do is we need to know the facts and form our own opinions. But too often, the news is in the business of making you feel instead of just making you know stuff. Drama. A lot of it. So I'm not a big fan. But I followed it, and I will, and I just kind of see kind of like what's at play here. A lot of blame. This is going to get political. This will be the subject of some debate come October or even before with regards to who is the next mayor of Memphis. The questions will be asked about this, even though this was the U.S. Marshals and that MPD. The only thing that Memphis Police Department was responsible for here was to go and help with crowd control and support. That's it. But this will become a political point this fall. Watch. Now nationally, we've got an election. It's not this fall. It's next fall. Fall of 2020. We will either re-elect Donald Trump to be president or we will have a new president. Those are going to be the two options. Now, out of the other option, if not Trump, then who? Well, that is yet to be determined, and it's still very, very early. And we talked about this with polls. Is it too early to pay attention to the polls? No, because they're fun. But it's too early, really, ever, I think, with what we saw in 2016, to take anything for granted with regards to the polls. All right, Joe Biden, he's the leader. He's the front runner, right? But that lead is kind of softened. You know, he was leading by double digits. Not only by double digits, he was doubling up Bernie Sanders. I don't think he's doubling up Bernie Sanders at this point, but he's still the front runner. He's a plagiarizing, lady-sniffing flip-flopper, but he is the front runner. And we've gone over that. Biden holds a big lead nationally, but see, all about the polls is how they ask the questions. 77%, quote-unquote, likely to change their minds. Former VP Joe Biden has a 2-1 advantage over the next closest Democratic presidential contender in a new poll, but more than 3/4 of likely primary voters say they could still change their minds. So people are just now even thinking about this. They're not even in the mode of who is who and who stands for what. Now, the hardcore people are. That's why you see so many people on the far left getting involved here and being very vocal. The national survey from Park Strategies finds Biden at 32% support, followed by Senator Bernie Sanders at 15%, Senator Elizabeth Warren at 13%, Senator Kamala Harris at 12%, and South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, however you say his name, Buttigieg, at 7%. No other candidate has more than 2% support. While Biden has a big lead at the moment, his support appears to be soft. 77% of likely Democratic voters say they could still change their minds, pollsters found. So that's all about the follow-up questions and how they ask the questions and yada, yada, yada. Voters may be dating on Joe Biden, but they have not married him. That's according to Chris Kofinis, a pollster and founder of Park Strategies. Well, it says here that Democrats are frustrated by a huge field of 24 contenders. And you know who's got to be the most frustrated? Because I've read in another poll, a different poll. Check it out. Bernie Sanders has fallen behind Elizabeth Warren in at least one poll. Senator Bernard Sanders on Sunday tried to shrug off new polling that shows support for him among the Democratic presidential field has dropped 10 points since March, saying he believes he's the strongest candidate to take on President Trump head to head. That's right. Even though he's lost 10 percentage points in the polls, he's still the strongest, says Bernie Sanders. Well, I explain it in the sense that polls go up and down, but the other part of the polls, if you heard correctly, is that I am beating President Trump fairly decisively, which is consistent with all the polling that I've seen. I think, frankly, I'm the strongest candidate to defeat Trump. I think we could win in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, in Michigan, and all the other places that I want to raise taxes. So he's saying, even though my support has waned, you cannot listen to the polls, you cannot listen to these people, you cannot trust the people. That's from a Fox News poll, showed Biden leading with 32% support, followed by Mr. Sanders at 13%. This is the same numbers, but Bernie was at 23% support in a March poll, and now he's down to 13%. So from March to now, he's lost 10 percentage points. I wonder Bernie Sanders maybe advocating for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the Boston Bombers' right to vote. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe going to bat for the Boston Bombers' right to vote softened your polling numbers a little bit. Maybe people are like, yeah, I like Bernie, but the whole thing with the Boston Bomber voting, not on board with that. I don't need Dzhokhar Tsarnaev casting a ballot. Maybe telling people in response to your net worth of $1 million that all they need to do, you write a best-selling book and you can get $1 million too. Yeah, that attitude probably didn't win you a lot of support from people, because that was kind of a crappy thing to say, wasn't it? All these evil millionaires and billionaires, they've got too much money. What about your money, Bernie Sanders? Oh, I earned my money. I wrote a best-selling book. You write a best-selling book, you could be a millionaire too. And then most recently, what did he say? People would be delighted to pay more taxes in this country? Yeah, people would be delighted to pay more taxes. Because I can just imagine people on April 15th or weeks before calculating their taxes and seeing how much either A, they've already paid in for the year, or B, how much they still owe. I'm sure that delight is the perfect word to describe what they're feeling. Oh my God, I owe the federal government $1,200 more. I'd be delighted to cut him a check for $22. So this guy, he's starting to realize now he's not running against Hillary Clinton. He's got some 23 other candidates from which voters have to choose. It's not just Bernie or Hillary. That's why he saw such a successful, quote-unquote, successful run in 2016, is because he was running against the most unlikable, worst candidate possibly in the history of our nation. He's not running against Hillary now. All right? He's not the old likable alternative to Hillary. He's won in a 24 deep cavalcade of creeps. All right, that's where Bernie is, so he's starting to deal with reality. And then all that stuff he was saying about Dzhokhar Tsarnaev voting, and then people being delighted with paying more taxes, and go write your own best-selling book to get $1 million. Yeah, that's all starting to catch up with old Bernie. News Crew's coming up in a little bit. I do want to share with you the best story, possibly of the week. I'm going to put a pin in it. This is a story of an 11-year-old boy wielding a machete and saving the day. And we'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
KWAM, The Voice salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and healthcare is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Meriton. They're improving well-being and promote independence throughout life stages. Call them today at 901-766-0600. ATC Fitness, with locations all over the Mid-South. Find the one nearest you at atcfitness.com.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Appella is a nonprofit organization that is committed to the promotion of independence among their clients. Many seniors are not ready or do not need to move to an assisted living facility, but they need some help to continue living in their own homes. Appella's team of care specialists provide assistance with daily tasks that become difficult as our bodies age. Appella is locally operated and serves the North Mississippi area. Call them today at 662-429-3652 or visit appella.org.
Since 1927, Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab has been invested in the health and happiness of each individual who enters their doors. They serve people and families of all faiths with compassion, dignity, and commitment. Named one of U.S. News & World Report's best nursing homes for 2017-2018. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab was also named the #1 nursing home in the Mid-South by the Memphis Business Journal in 2019. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab is located in a 77-acre park-like setting in Cordova. You can find out more on their website at memphisjewishhome.org.
If you're thinking about retirement, you've got to know it's all about income. Your money making money. The Retirement Income Doctor wants to teach you how it's done. Give us a call and we'll send you a free animated video kit. 848-2-INCOME. 848-2-INCOME. And tune us in, The Retirement Income Doctor, Saturday mornings at 10. Call now for your free income kit. 848-2-INCOME. 848-2-INCOME.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
Live from Memphis, it's the Eye on Memphis show with host Betty Lamar. Eye on Memphis is wall-to-wall conversations featuring top doctors and community leaders monitoring social disparities in healthcare. Eye on Memphis with Betty Lamar on KWAM The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990. Saturdays at 12 noon. Sponsored in part by AM Diabetes and Endocrinology Center in Bartlett.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake. Also, Facebook and Twitter, find me, Nation of Jake. I go through a lot of stories each day on this program. Some of them are heartwarming. Some of them are frustrating. Some of them are maddening. This one hits it just about right with me. This is a heartwarming tale of an 11-year-old boy wielding a machete in defense of his home. All right. From Orange County, North Carolina. All right. The suspect thwarted by a machete-wielding 11-year-old during an Orange County home invasion fled UNC Hospital this weekend. Jatavion Deshaun Hall of Monroe left the hospital, according to Orange County Sheriff Charles Blackwood. How did he get into the hospital is the question. Well, Jatavion broke into a home there in Orange County, North Carolina. where he encountered an 11-year-old. All right. What happened when he encountered the 11-year-old? Well, he pushed the 11-year-old in a closet after breaking into the home where the 11-year-old was home alone, playing video games. 11 years old, you should be able to leave your kid at home when he's 11. Say if you go to the grocery store, he can handle himself. You know, he can answer the door, not answer the door, knows what to do. We've talked about leaving kids at home alone. 11 is probably okay, depending on for how long. And if it's a good kid, somebody who knows not to go and try to cook anything or doesn't get into stuff. Hey, you hang out here for an hour, play Fortnite or whatever. I'll be back from the store. You can stay here. Well, what had happened was the break-in around 11 a.m. on Friday. A woman knocked on the door of a home off Yarborough Road. An 11-year-old boy who was home alone at the time saw a man standing outside near a car. Then a second man, identified as Jatavion Hall, broke a window on the other side of the house and came into the home. So they were going to try to draw somebody to the front door and then break in on the other side and then go do like a smash and grab job and take some stuff out of the home. Now, I don't know if they had cased the joint. I don't know if they knew that the child was home alone. I don't know anything about that. But here's what I do know. Jatavion Hall, who broke into the home, took possession of a pellet gun in the home and forced the 11-year-old boy into a back bedroom closet, telling him to stay there. What happens next? Well, the suspect picked up a cell phone that was not his, placed it into his pocket as he entered the living room of the home. The 11-year-old, who was a star baseball player on several area teams, left the closet and was able to gain access to a machete. He entered the living room behind the intruder, swung the machete, and struck the man in the back of the head. The man retaliated by kicking the boy in the stomach, causing him to fall against the couch. The boy got up, swung the machete again, missing this time. The intruder then kicked the child in the side of the head and turned to grab several items, including a television and a PlayStation. But at this point, the intruder, who had been struck in the back of the head with a machete, realized he was bleeding significantly from the machete strike. He dropped the electronics, exited the residence, and all three suspects fled the home. How about that? Good on you, kid. You went and took action. Let's hear from him. Let's hear from this guy. Who is he?
He pointed a pellet gun at me that was located in our house. And I knew that it wasn't loaded, so I just sat down and got in my closet like he told me to. And then he went into the living room to grab my phone to make sure I didn't call the 911 or anything. When I saw him try to put it in his pocket, I grabbed my machete off of my wall and went to hit him, and I hit him in the back of the head, like right here.
This kid took action. If anybody has any criticism of the parents for leaving this kid at home alone, after hearing him, he sounds responsible. This guy had just been attacked in his own home by an intruder, and he's telling the story like, oh yeah, listen, this is what happened. He took a pellet gun. I knew the pellet gun wasn't loaded, so I figured I would go get my machete, and I would try to cut his head off. Bang, just like that. I love it. I love it. This guy's awesome. This guy, give him the key to the city. Give him some sort of recognition. So this guy is for real deal. This kid is, draft him. He's a baseball player, right? Where are the Braves? Where are the Atlanta Braves right now? He's in Braves country. This is North Carolina. All right, so this kid needs to go to Turner Field. They don't play there anymore. He needs to go to SunTrust Park. They're changing the name. Truist Stadium or whatever it's called now. He needs to be honored. I love it. Let's see what else he has to say.
Heat of the moment. Always have your kids prepared for anything. You shouldn't have done what you've done, and you're better off to get a job than breaking into other people's house.
You shouldn't have done what you've done, and you're better off to get a job than breaking into other people's houses. This kid's 11. He's got it figured out. And he's right. Have your kids prepared for anything. It's That's why my kids are in karate. My kids practice with padded weaponry right now. All right, they've got some padded nunchucks. They've got some gnarly-looking hatchets that they use. And these things, they look like they're plastic. They look like you could disembowel someone with them. They're called sangnats or kamas, right? But they look brutal. My kids, I'm teaching my kids how to slice people up with swords. They got fake plastic swords. They've got nunchucks, padded nunchucks. They've got a zhongbong, which is also known as the bow staff. I'm getting my kids trained up with the bow staff because you never know when you're going to have to do something like this. This kid's 11, responsible enough to be at home. He went through, think about it. Old Jatavion busts in his house, aims a pellet gun at him, stay in the closet. The kid calculates. It all happened so fast, I'm sure. He calculates, okay, he's got an unloaded pellet gun because I'm responsible and I don't keep my pellet gun loaded. He said he's in there, he's taking our stuff. I could sit here and do nothing and let him take our stuff and be a victim, or I could get that machete off the wall and try to cut his head off. And the kid chose the latter. And for it, he's a hero. And then he's dishing out advice on having your kids prepared for anything. And also, hey, by the way, to the man who broke into my house, you're probably better off getting a job than going around and being a burglar and trying to victimize little kids. I love it. I love it. Now, after he struck Jatavion with the machete, deputies, is that like a detective deputy? A deputy? Good Lord. Deputies who came to the home after the 911 call, checked on the boy, then alerted local hospitals to be on the lookout for somebody with a giant head wound. And I'm sure that the cops were like, wait, so you did what? You did what? Did you hear what this kid did? And they're on the radios going, hey, you guys back at the station? Yeah, hey, Farva, did you hear what this, were you listening to that? This little kid got a machete and he attacked the intruder and nearly chopped off his head. How awesome is that? Yeah, tell Hanrahan. Yeah, and I'm looking down at my shoulder where they're little, tell Hanrahan about this kid over here. Yeah, he plays baseball. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know. What's your average, kid? Shortly thereafter, Hall showed up at the hospital asking for treatment. Jatavion, who had the massive head wound. Not only did this youngster thwart the larceny attempt, he created blood evidence that very well may lead to a conviction in this case, according to Sheriff Charles Blackwood. This is a very tough kid who kept his wits about him. At the same time, I want to reflect that this youngster, his family, and indeed his community are very lucky this event did not have a tragic ending for the child. Hall has been scheduled to appear in court today at 2. More charges are pending against Hall and the 2 others involved. So I think what should happen here is you take this young man, if I'm his father and or mother, take him out for some ice cream, maybe get him a new PlayStation game, then go have his machete sharpened for next time. Next time somebody tries to bust into his house and take my stuff, that's all. You know, in all seriousness, if the kid had just stayed in the closet, that would have been fine too. If he had not taken action, do what was safe. The guy had a pellet gun and you knew it. He was probably there just to steal stuff. But the fact that it all worked out, love the story. Love it! All right, coming up, we've got the news cruise. We've got a leisurely look at the headlines, and we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. The Supreme Court has decided not to decide a gerrymandering case out of Virginia, allowing a lower court ruling to stand in a defeat to State House Republicans, who were found to have drawn up districts in an effort to reduce the political clout of black voters. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Racial gerrymandering is unconstitutional, and that's what the lower court found to be objectionable. The Supreme Court simply cut off the ability of State House Republicans to challenge that lower court ruling.
More from CBS's Jonathan Turley.
This is a decision that goes against a single chamber, a legislature bringing actions before the Supreme Court. So while this helps the Virginia Democrats, it may not help the Democrats in the House of Representatives as they bring more cases challenging the Trump administration.
It is one of 3 high-profile gerrymandering cases before the High Court. CBS News Update, I'm Jim Chenevey.
Did Jesus promise to return within the first century generation? Discover why atheists, Muslims, Jews, and even some Christians believe that Jesus is a liar and the Bible is false. Join William Bell for discussion on the end times and Bible prophecy on the All Things Fulfilled Eschatology broadcast Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on KWAM 990 and FM 107.9. Listen on Facebook at KWAM The Voice.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
Do you like choices? Do you like being part of the design? How about being involved in picking the type of wood, stain, and customizing the size of your furniture too? Well, you can do all that and more at Amish Excellence. They have the highest value in furniture that is reasonably priced and handcrafted by the Amish. Imagine dining room tables, chairs, bar stools, hutches, chests, end tables, and more. Amish Excellence's showroom is located at 3601 South Houston Levee Road, Suite 106.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
This is Clark Howard. There's a trend that is not your kid's friend. There's a new study out from T. Rowe Price that finds that approximately 1 out of 5 elementary and middle school kids now carry around an actual credit card. That's right, their parents are adding their kids as an authorized user on a credit card in the 3rd grade. This is not something I recommend because a child in elementary or middle school would be a rare child who has the maturity to understand when it's okay to spend money on that card, and you're responsible for whatever charges they run up. If you do want to have a child establish a credit record, the time to do that is maybe starting about age 16. Before that, the best alternative is what's known as a stored value card, where it's only useful for the amount you've stored on it.
Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come summertime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small, painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Have you heard about Newsmax TV? It's America's fastest growing cable news channel in 70 million homes. Every minute, every day. Watch Newsmax for breaking news on President Trump. Plus, get insights from Bill O'Reilly, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, Mike Reagan, and more. You can find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Optimum, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and dozens of cable systems. So check your guide now and watch Newsmax TV. Real news for real people.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. The channel is called Nation of Jake. Same on Facebook and Twitter at Nation of Jake. All right, so this is the time of the program where we catch up on all the headlines. We hop on a boat and we do this. It's called the News Cruise. It's brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934.
News. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The News Cruise. Full of exciting news. The News Cruise. So relax and kick off your shoes.
All right, welcome aboard the News Cruise, brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. They can do more than just windows. Ceiling fans, chandeliers, blinds, of course, windows. But on the outside of your house, things like pressure washing. You got a patio, you got a pool deck, you got walkways. Are they disgusting? Well, Steve and the guys at Just Windows can pressure wash your patios, walkways, and your pool deck, even your home. If the siding on your home is getting a little nasty, they can do that, as well as your gutters. Your gutters will fill up with all kinds of stuff. It doesn't have to be fall. It doesn't have to be just leaves. I guess there's like little worm-looking things get in there. The other day it was causing some problems, and it can cause problems for you. You know, one of the things to prevent West Nile virus is to keep your gutters and downspouts clear. Well, the guys from Just Windows Home Services, they can do that because mosquitoes like to breed and all that nastiness, as well as ants. And if you got a two-story house especially, you don't want to clean your own gutters. Trust me on that one. Call the guys from Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. They'll give you a free estimate, and then you'll get 20% off if you tell them Nation of Jake sent you. So 751-3934 or online at justwindowsmemphis.com. First up in the News Cruise, Governor Bill Lee says he will call a special legislative session to replace Speaker Glenn Cassada. The governor announced his decision on Saturday night while speaking to reporters ahead of the Tennessee Republican Party's Statesman's Dinner. That fundraiser was held at the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. He says he's spoken with many of the folks in the legislature. They agree it's time to move forward. Of course, Glenn Cassada, who was involved in this sexting scandal, he received explicit sexual texts from his chief of staff about all kinds of women who worked with Cade Cothran and Glenn Cassada, and he partook in the banter back and forth. They were misogynistic. It was not a good look for Glenn Cassada. He says he would resign August 2nd, and so they're going to have a special session to replace him, but he is not. Is Glenn Cassada going to resign from his legislative seat? So he'll still be there representing the fine folks of Franklin, Tennessee. His chief of staff, Cade Cothran, has since resigned. He also said that Cade Cothran sent racist text messages and admitting to using cocaine in the legislative office building. And so all that caught up to Glenn Cassada. He will lose his speakership stepping down August 2nd, and then there'll be a special session to replace him. FedEx is now going to offer drop-off and pickup services at Dollar General locations. Yeah, they're teaming up. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, you want to go send something via FedEx. Is FedEx Kinko's still a thing? I haven't seen a FedEx Kinko's in a long time. FedEx and Dollar General will begin rolling out the service in more than 1,500 Dollar General stores late this summer. And this is aimed to increase access for all customers, especially those living in rural communities. Dollar General is the perfect retailer to help us meet the growing need for convenient, secure drop-off and pickup locations in a variety of rural communities. It's from Scott Harkins from FedEx Services. As part of the on-site program with Dollar General, customers can drop off prepackaged and pre-labeled FedEx Express or FedEx ground shipments at Dollar General. All right, sounds pretty convenient for a lot of people out there. Oh, check it out. We've got a start date, a debut date for Bluff City Law, the NBC legal drama, which will be filmed and set here in the Bluff City. It'll begin filming next month. The show will air 9 p.m. after The Voice, starting on September 23rd. And there's also some details about the show, which follows a famous father-daughter legal team and how they navigate their difficult relationship. According to NBC, following the death of her mother, Sydney Strait returns to work alongside her father, Elijah Strait, at his celebrated law firm after a years-long separation. So there's plenty of legalese and drama, as you would expect in a legal drama. Bluff City Law coming to a television set near you on September 23rd. Oh, check this out. Congratulations to 321 Shelby County students. The Shelby County DA's office has a big surprise. They're giving away brand new bicycles to 321 Shelby County students for having perfect attendance during the 2018-2019 school year. That would be awesome, except I don't go to Shelby County schools anymore. When I was a kid, and I may be embellishing a tiny bit, but not much, I promise you, man. Ask my dad. Ask him. I don't think I missed a full day of school from 3rd grade all the way through my senior year. And I started going to Shelby County schools in 3rd grade, right? And it was a Shelby County school at the time. Still is. Germantown. I went to the Germantown schools, 3rd grade through 12th grade. Never missed a day. Perfect attendance. There's a correlation between going to school every day and doing well in school. Think about all the bikes I could have racked up over those 8+ years. Think of 3rd grade, bike. 4th grade, bike. 5th grade, bike me. 6th grade, another bike, please. 7th grade, bike. 8th grade, bike. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 10 years of bikes. I could have spun those bikes. I could have traded those bikes. I could have created one giant Transformer Voltron mega bike. So congratulations. 321 students in the entire school district. That's it? That's it, guys? They're going to get their new bikes on Saturday, June 22nd in the Pipkin building. So send your news crews down there, man. Those kids that go to school every day, well, they deserve to be recognized, and they are. They're getting some bikes. Oh, check this out. We've got the U.S. Marshals have announced the capture of a man wanted in a Holly Springs, Mississippi murder. In March 2019, Eldridge Balfour, 27, was killed after being shot multiple times. Police identified the suspects as 23-year-old Tremaine Rashad Faulkner and charged him with attempted and first-degree murder. He was captured on June 11th and his bond set at $1 million. I can't help but think that the U.S. Marshals were like, hey, come on, get us an example of how we went out and captured somebody, captured a dangerous suspect, captured, did not kill a dangerous suspect, and get that press release out ASAP. So these guys up in Memphis will actually report on us doing our jobs where it didn't end in a lethal shooting, because they do it all the time. U.S. Marshals have a very narrow mission. They are primarily employed in recovering dangerous fugitives from justice. And more times than not, they capture them without incident, without killing them. So just so if anybody out there wants to perpetuate a narrative that U.S. Marshals will just come into Memphis and gun people down for no reason, that's not true. Oh, we've got some more national news. This Pete Buttigieg guy. Pete Buttigieg is polling at about 7%, raising a lot of money, kind of a dark horse candidate for the Democrat nomination for president. He says it's almost certain he wouldn't be the first gay president if elected. Buttigieg, 37 years old, mayor of South Bend, Indiana, came out as gay in 2015 before being elected to his second term as mayor. I guess the folks in South Bend were like, hey, he's a pretty good mayor. We don't care if he's gay or not. Now, in an interview with Axios on HBO, Buttigieg was asked about critics potentially saying he's too young, too liberal, and too gay to be commander-in-chief. He explained where he wants to lead the country. People will elect the person who will make the best president. And we've had excellent presidents who have been young. We have had excellent presidents who have been liberal. I know we've not. Not true. I imagine we would have had an excellent president who were gay. We just didn't know which ones. So he's saying statistically it's almost certain that one of the 45 presidents in our nation's history have been gay. And that's just saying, hey, just playing the percentages. The 1 in 45 people are bound to be gay. Which I'm not sure if that's the way it works. I'm not sure if he's referring to any specific past president as being gay. I know that there's a theory out there that Abraham Lincoln was homosexual, which it is actually one of those deals where somebody has gone through and read letters and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if there's anything to it, but it's a theory. I mean, I guess theoretically, yes, one of our 45 presidents could have been gay. Millard Fillmore. Not to say Millard Fillmore. I don't know anything about Millard Fillmore. You know what is the ultimate irony about presidents? Is Millard Fillmore's claim to fame is being the go-to example of an obscure president. Like he's no longer obscure because he is the example of a president being so obscure. Millard Fillmore. And then we've also got China is saying that the U.S. legalization of marijuana is a threat to China because people are now smuggling marijuana into China, and it's becoming a big problem. The number of cannabis users in China had grown by more than 25% in 2018, rising to about 24,000 people. All right, let's put it in perspective here. Hey, Earl, how many people in China? Billion or so? Billion with a B, and they say they've got 24,000 cannabis users. 24,000 weed smokers in China. Number one, how do they even know? Because they know everything about you in China. You don't have any freedom. And number two, that's a tiny percentage. And then China's the one making all the fentanyl and sending it over here. So I really don't want to hear about it, China.
China's also where everybody used to go get opium.
Oh, yeah, Chinese opium dens and stuff. Get out of here, China, complaining about our weed laws. All right, we got Earl Farrell coming up next. I want to ask him about the latest addition to Twitter. That's right, O.J. Simpson joining up on the Twitter machine. We'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
The June edition of The Best Times is now available, and as always, it's filled with valuable and interesting information. There's one article everyone in the Mid-South should read about how and why to protect your identity, especially using your smartphone. Also, there's an interview with the new CEO of the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, Beverly Robertson. The Best Times is available at over 250 locations, including all Kroger stores, CVS pharmacies, the YMCA, and your local library. Pick up your copy and keep yourself informed. You'll be glad you did.
If you're in need of a professional cleaning service that takes your business as seriously as you do, call Jan Pro Cleaning Systems today. They understand how important it is to establish and maintain a professional image. That's why they offer the Jan Pro Signature Clean and the Jan Pro Guarantee. From regular scheduled cleaning to the tough stuff like stripping and waxing, buffing, carpet extractions, and detail cleaning, Jan Pro does it all. Call today for a free, no-obligation quote. 901-683-4900. Insured and bonded for your protection. Jan Pro Cleaning Systems. Measurable cleaning, guaranteed results.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube for a few minutes more, about 10 minutes. You're going to get the Earl Farrell program, 3:06, right after the top of the hour CBS News Report. Earl, are you on Twitter, Earl? You do the Twitter thing?
Nope.
All right, good for you. Number one.
I stopped. It just got to be so out of hand.
It really is out of hand, and now it's more out of hand because O.J. Simpson is on Twitter. If you want to put your headphones on, you can see the first thing that O.J. has posted on Twitter. It's a video kind of explaining why he decided to join up.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. Now, there's a lot of fake OJ accounts out there, so this one, at the real OJ32, is the only official one. So this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So God bless. Take care.
Getting even to do. Getting even to do. What does he mean by that? And I only ask because there are some people on Twitter who were involved in that whole trial. Mark Furman. Is Mark Furman LAPD on Twitter? Marsha Clark, the prosecutor, is on Twitter. Kato Kalin is on Twitter. And he's become some sort of outspoken Milwaukee sports pundit. Wow. It's pretty insane what Twitter's become. Earl, can you imagine with how toxic Twitter is? Can you imagine if Twitter was around in 94? Could you imagine? I mean, the spectacle that the OJ trial was, even in 94, could you imagine that amplified by Twitter?
I just think back. I watched the night that OJ was in the white Bronco.
Yeah, with AC.
And
Al Cowlings.
And you look how old that Bronco is now, 25 years ago.
Sure.
Crowds that came out to cheer him as he drove by. I can't imagine it.
I was in 7th grade, I believe, or 8th grade, when the OJ verdict was read. And there were kids. I mean, we were just kids. We were 13 years old. When they read not guilty, you could hear people in other classrooms cheering that he got away with it. Unbelievable.
You heard the same thing in newsrooms.
Newsrooms, really? Good Lord, yeah. So OJ's on Twitter, which is odd. Here's what else he had to say. He wants to set the record straight about some things. Here we go.
Hey, Twitter world. For years, people have been able to say whatever they want to say about me with no accountability. But now I get to challenge a lot of that BS and set the record straight. More importantly, I'll be able to talk about everything, especially sports, fantasy football.
Oh, yeah, he wants to talk about fantasy football and setting the record straight. Can you imagine, the Twitter dust-ups we're going to see between Mark Furman and O.J. Simpson and Marsha Clark and Kato Kalin and all the characters you remember from the O.J. trial? It's pretty amazing. It's an amazing world we live in. And then on top of that, you had Bill Cosby tweeting about being America's father. It's truly surreal where we are now. It's a lot of fun, though. I won't say that.
This ain't Kansas anymore.
No, it ain't. Earl Farrell is up next. He'll be along with news of the day and the other antics you get into with Earl. I'll be back tomorrow at 1. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
CBS News at the top of